Hi Virgo, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for Venus Retrograde and it's coming out now because there's some really important transits that are a part of Venus Retrograde that start at the end of Venus Retrograde, which is now. So Venus has gone retrograde on December 19th and will continue towards January 28th, but that's not where all this energy stops. So now that whatever you have gone through that has given you opportunities to revisit relationships and think things through again, now you're going to apply your resolutions and awareness about that towards your path forward. I thought we would start with like a little tarot. It's the heart-shaped spread. If you've never seen this on my channel, then please go and I'll explain it, sorry, to you now. So we're starting off with the Eight of Cups. So whoever you're dealing with or whatever the circumstances are, I feel as though there's resignation and apathy, which means that you feel, or both sides feel, as though they've tried everything and you don't know how to make it work. And so there's a feeling of helplessness and maybe a resolution to let go, and in some instances apathy, which means that's when a person lets go of what they care about because they feel so overwhelmed by the prospects. So this is, a situation in which you have to be very delicate, because whether it's you or the other person or both, you may be feeling really lost to the point of being ready to let go. If you're single, this could be discouragement about your future, kind of a level of pessimism, or even like, will things work out? So this is the sign of the times, right? Chiron is in Aries, which defines what we are and kind of challenges our identity. And I think much of the world is confronting the fact that relationships don't work in the modern world as well, and it's a privileged few who get to experience really healthy and good long-term relationships, while the majority of people struggle with relationships or the variation thereof. So I think that this is the energy here, in which life is too complicated, and whoever you're involved with or whoever you're working out your relationship with, you might be feeling that sense of apathy, and likewise they may be feeling that as well. So rather than personalizing it, I would say look at it as a social situation. Oh, I'm going to put I have this crystal, this is my favorite. This is a Nirvana quartz, and it's really beautiful. Usually they're lighter color, but my friend gave me this one, or sold it to me, so it's kind of hard to find. Also, the light is dark because it's dark outside. It's 2 o'clock and it's dark, so sorry. It's just part of living on the West Coast in a rainforest. Okay, so we have the Sun for you. This is your feelings about a situation. So this is very hopeful. And we have the Page of Cups. So you're about to experience some kind of reawakening with love. And I'm a Virgo, if you don't know. Hi. And so I'm not patronizing you by saying this, but objectively, I'm aware of the fact that your readings for a long time have been coming up as very kind of devout of, let's focus on love, let's focus on relationships. And this year is different, and we'll do the astrology in just a minute. But just suffice it to say that there is, a resurgence of love coming for Virgos. You have major love transits in your 5th house and in your 7th house. Those are the 2 major relationship houses. You might be coming up on new experiences or looking at old things in a new way. There's just a lot of positive energy for you with regard to that. Okay, so next card. The next 2 cards represent the world around you or the other person. So we have the 2 of Swords. Whoever you're dealing with feels a lack of decisiveness. Maybe there's an unsure energy. That's what I was trying to describe in the beginning. And then we have the Lovers, which is sometimes ruled by Gemini. It doesn't have to be. That's just a card association. So I feel like whoever you're dealing with, all the people you're dealing with, they have positive affect towards you. They feel good things towards you, and but yet there are some things that are hard to understand, hard to work out. And I think maybe this is a byproduct of the fact that the astrology for Virgo has been a little wonky for a while. And so whenever we go through the tunnel, when we go through a darker phase in life, in one aspect of our life, such as less emphasis on relationships, or less focus on just interpersonal things not going as smoothly as usually, we may sometimes be affected by that towards internalizing it and feeling apathy. However, this is not what's happening here. I feel like there's a big resurgence for you of hope, kind of born again sort of energy, not necessarily religious, but in the sense that having your heart awakened again and feeling that innocence. So here's the astrology. Before I do the astrology, let me tell you a few things. So first off, there is a collective reading that I'm going to do for all signs for Venus retrograde. There's a lot of transits that are happening with Venus retrograde, and I want to spend one video explaining them to you as opposed to each sign, because that's crazy. Because Venus retrograde ends on the 28th, I wanted to put out these videos for you today so that you would have the opportunity to see them before the transit ends. However, there is another video coming that I'll be working on later today and will be out for you guys in the next couple days for a collective message about what Venus retrograde is, and it'll be a very good complement to this, so I recommend that. There's going to be a members only reading for this as well, but it's not the extended for this. It's going to be the Spring Love 2022 video, in which I will break down the transits and where things will go from here in the spring. If you're not a member, you'll get to see that in the spring, but members get to see it early. So stay tuned for that. Also, that when that is ready, that will be linked in the description. So I'll put a link up when it's ready, probably in the next couple days. What else did I wanted to say? I also want to say, if you want to get a private reading with me, go into the link in the description. My site is down, so feel free to grab that link if you want. And then the last little piece, I'm doing short form videos, which means that if you want to see short form videos under 1 minute, go to my Tarot Talk, which is also linked in the description, and there will be short videos there. So I didn't want to put short videos on this channel because I'm still figuring it out, and I don't want to spam everyone with this content. So if you're interested in short form, like getting a short video, 1 minute video from me every day, then feel free to follow me on Tarot Talk. That's all that's going to be there. So for now, so go check it out. Okay, that's all my announcements. And let's talk about the astrology. So like I said, the collective reading will really break this down in more detail. So this might be a little fast. If it's a little bit fast, I am kind of glossing over things here. So please go watch that video when it's out and come back to this later if you don't understand what I'm talking about. But this is for for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So hopefully this helps. And I think love readings are very strong for moon signs. So if you're a Virgo moon, this might be for you. Okay. So like I said, this energy is highly loving. And so Virgos may have gone through a long period of time in which love was understated in your lives. There's been a desert, so to speak. And so now things are kind of improving, or things are happening. Venus retrograde is happening in your 5th house of romance. So this is less about partnership and more about love, romance, intimacy, all those kinds of things. Venus retrograde started on the 19th and will continue until January 28th. However, Venus will continue to be in Capricorn until March 5th because she is slow to move forward once she is direct again, once her movement is direct. And so during that time, several things are going to happen that are going to be quite significant. first of all, there's going to be a series of conjunctions with Mars. And so this will work out any dynamics between you and your partners about love, where you stand with them. If you dated somebody, the fifth house, you know, how things turned out, how things have been going. This is also about fair play. So if somebody hasn't been fair with you within a relationship or within dating, this might get worked out in some way with that person directly if they've shown up in your life now, or or with someone who's a supplement, which means a mirror of this other person. So you might meet somebody else or have interaction with someone else who is similar to this other person. Okay, so it's kind of like a ghost of the past might show up and kind of revisit something with you, whether it's about you understanding something in a situation or coming to terms with it or finding healing for that. All of those types of relationships may come up. Furthermore, in the fifth house, there may be an aspect to do with children. So your love with your children might get worked out. So if you have difficulty in your relationships around your children or directly with your children, Venus and Mars going back and forth until March 5th when they enter Aquarius together and Venus passes Mars there's going to be quite a healing of your heart. Like I said, the lifting of apathy towards feeling joy again. So Mars is huge. During this time also there will be 2 transits of the moon. The moon takes 28 days to go around the zodiac. And so there's the first transit right before the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th, 30th, and 31st of January. So just this weekend, the moon will be in this position. This will begin things. When the moon transits, it activates the transits that are there. So it's going to be a very powerful weekend for all of us. But for you, relationships may become really central again, or relationship dynamics, conversations with others. Someone may finally say something to you that you've been waiting for a very long time. Very, very emotional weekend coming up. The next section is the next transit of the moon is at the end of February, the 27th. Now, this time it will be conjunct Venus, Vesta, and Mars at 24 degrees, right before it joins Pluto. And so those dates are going to be also very, very significant. The end of February next month is also going to be very kind of intense. There's another new moon at the end of February. And so there will be it's going to be, I expect, huge relationship things to work out for many people. This is the deep dive. This is the really intense kind of way of really looking at things. If you have very resistant issues in your relationships with others, this Venus retrograde is really getting at the heart of them. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. It could be just a powerful shift. If something is a bottleneck means something is holding back everything else. That bottleneck may be removed. And so all these feelings, emotions, things might really push forward with the transits of the moon in January, February. I'll talk about that more in the collective. The other transit is Venus trine Uranus. So Venus will trine Uranus and does every year 3 or 4 times. So this is happening right now. The significance of the Venus trine Uranus between January 25th and beginning of February is that Venus is really slow because she's just about to turn direct in those early degrees or mid degrees of Capricorn. This means that she's relatively going to be in a similar position for a couple weeks. And those couple weeks happen to be in a perfect trine, which is a positive energy to Uranus in your 9th house. To me, this really looks like broadening of horizons. The sun, broadening of horizons, really going after what you truly want. So if you feel as though you have been held back from things, this might really push things along. The final transit I want to highlight to you is Mercury retrograde. We've done a video on Mercury retrograde. Go check that out for comments on that. But Mercury retrogrades into Capricorn on the 25th, today, the day that I'm filming, and will turn direct on the 4th of February. Between the 4th of February and the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, Mercury will be in Capricorn moving direct at the same time as Venus, Mars, Vesta, and Pluto, and that's Juno right there, will be direct as well. The key time for the effect of what Venus retrograde did for us, for what Mercury retrograde did for us, will happen between the 4th and the 14th. So this is when you might see a lot of progress. So it's not really Venus, it is still a part of Venus retrograde, but it's Venus is direct at that point, and you're seeing the consequences, the positive consequences of how your relationships resolve during Venus retrograde. So before that time, as much as you can, be very open to harmony with others. Push for harmony, and there will be good results between the 4th and the 14th of February. So even if it's in your heart, if you can't talk to them, just put goodness in your heart towards them and see how the world responds. Okay, so now let's take a look at the tarot. So as I said, starting position, the desires of you and the other. Now let's take a look at where we stand right now. So look, boom, the world. So the world is that Uranus transit that I was telling you about right here, opening up of the world. And so we have the trine to Venus. The Uranus trine Venus is essentially, Virgo, it's opening your heart for what you want in the world. This is what I want in the world. This is what I'm holding back. Uranus finds an alternative route for you to get what you want. So there's another way to achieve or to get what you want. So be excited about that. Let's see what the outside world or your partner are at right now. So we have the Knight of Wands, Sag, Leo, or Aries. You might be around someone who's really coming and going a lot right now. This might be really motivated by a lack of knowing on their part. I think they sense for you that there's things ahead of you that are opening up. And I think part of it is, and I hope this is what it is for them, that they want to give you space to experience that. So I feel like you are around people who mean a lot to you, but who may be kind of in and out of your life at this time. I think it's showing that their sentiment is positive, but they may not be consistent. And I think that consistency may be coming from those two things. The first thing is built up apathy from being in the tunnel, from being in a darker time that you have been in, Virgo, in terms of relationships, more shut down, more reserved, whatever. And the other, all people sense when new things are on the horizon for people that they're close to. Whether they know it or not, our intuitions tell us. And so I think that they sense that things are there for you. And so I think that that's an intuitive response to allow you to see, allow you to explore, allow you to kind of find yourself in the world. Pretty good cards. Okay, so here are two sets of cards that describe how you should be interpreting this, advice, just further clarification. Let's see some cards. We have the Hermit, which is the card of Virgo. So you might at this time still be experiencing some degree of aloneness, not loneliness. I think you're preoccupied. I think your heart is with Uranus. I think your heart is with the outside world in the 9th house, trying to find a way through, trying to find some direction. And I think that when you're in an exploratory phase, trying to find your way, especially with planets like Uranus, which are highly individualistic, it may affect your ability to relate to others. And in fact, to be honest, other people slow us down from those types of things. The next message is the Ace of Pentacles. I think you're onto something. I think you're going to find, some of you guys might find work soon in a new capacity. Remember, Jupiter is in your 7th house until May. And so this 7th house transit is not only great for love and partnership, it's also good for a career. So you might be, heading in some direction. Don't distract yourself. Don't feel bad. Pursue those things that are inkling you to go in certain directions. So yes, it's like a pursuit of something without actually knowing where you're going fully yet. Okay, let's see what the outside world is clarifying. So we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy. So the world is changing around you also. I sense that if you're with a partner, if you have a friend, or something's changing for them as well. So it may not be fully just being supportive of you. The reason that they're coming and going, they too may have other things going on their end. The next message is the Four of Pentacles, Sun in Capricorn, which just happened right over December to January. So it's just finished. I think that there's a carefulness coming from the world around you. And so if you haven't seen these readings again, let me just clarify it for you again. If this is your partner, or if this is someone, a love interest of some type, they may be careful or reserved or taking it one step at a time out of reverence for recognizing on some level that you're exploring. On the other hand, they may also be reserved for personal reasons. Some things may be taking up their time. They may be switching jobs, or they may be, their times may be uncertain for them. And so you may be only seeing this person periodically. If you're single, the world is your social circles, the people that you know, similar types of energies, inconsistent. There's a lack of consistency there. And I think that might be because the people around you are going through transitions, or they're not sure about certain things. They're waiting to see how things turn out. But the one thing is, the Lovers is telling me that there's a sincerity there. So you don't have to worry about someone being insincere towards you. I think basically, you know, both sides need to literally figure out where their life is going, but it isn't in relation to the other side, the other person. So it's like figuring it out for yourself. Okay, so the outcome card is the Four of Swords. So it's telling you to rest. Take it very, very easy. You'll see in the collective reading that this is a part of a number of transits. Let me show you, if I can show you on the chart. So these conjunctions started in Leo in July 2021. And so now they're here in Capricorn. So something has come to the surface. It could be even like secret feelings. Somebody has secret feelings for you. There's love there, whatever else. Allow these things to work themselves out in your life, because in 5 months, in October, not 5 months, I'm getting carried away, but it's going to feel like 5 months. In October or so, there's going to be further clarity when Venus passes the Sun in Libra. And so that's going to be monumental. So this new beginning, this new financial beginning, may grow to something very special by October. So I don't think you should neglect that side of things. And I think that if you're very aligned, if you're very centered, or if the people or your partner is, you'll instinctively want to do that. And I think you should honor that. So improvement in relationships, in short, although it's going to take some time to get on the same page again. And then also in the immediate present, some degree of rest and waiting for the time to act, to explore, to allow the world to kind of come into its own kind of the pattern again. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to make the energy real. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye, Virgo.